Welcome back to the channel, guys. We got the Traxxas Nitro 4 Tech on the bench, and we're going to take care of the rear belt. I already removed the screws to the throttle servo, but we're going to tackle it. It's not as hard as it looks or it seems. So we're going to take care of this. I'm going to speed up the video in certain spots just so you don't have to sit around for an hour and a half. Explaining things sometimes takes longer than just doing it. Let's go ahead and remove the grub screw here so we can remove the parts for the brake linkage. The rubber coupler and your washer. Set them aside together so we don't lose anything. Just doing a little how-to. I want to encourage individuals to get their rigs back on the road. Just remove those two top deck screws. Remove the screw to easy start harness. Slide that over the head. Put the screw back so you don't lose it. Now let's go ahead and remove these two screws here. Now let's remove the main drive belt. A little small flathead, and the gap there between the E-clip and the rod comes right out. Make sure you keep that. And of course, that washer, you can remove the pulley with the belt all at once. That's that new belt from the other series we did on there. We're replacing all the belts. The rear one's the last one that's gotta go. It's not broken, it's not frayed or anything like that, but if I'm working on it, I might as well put it new. So let's go ahead and remove these screws here. I may be speeding up the video, but it is really quick to remove the whole rear assembly out of these Vortex. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm doing a little bit of wiggling, because sometimes you don't see things unless there's some play. And in that bracket there that goes from the transmission to the center chassis assembly, plastic, sometimes it's cracked. You don't really see it until you start moving it around. But luckily it's not, so we're good to go. Let's remove those two top screws and have those halfway. I don't want to take them all out, because if you have too much play, then it's annoying trying to get everything back together. So I'm doing a little bit of wiggle test here, making sure that I got enough, because there is a lip on the edge of the chassis that we want to get over when we're removing this transmission. So let's get the throttle servo out the way. So I got enough wiggle room. So then what we're going to do now is remove the two top screws. Leave the other ones about halfway. That can hold the assembly in place. We just want some wiggle room when we go to remove and install, so leave those halfway. Alright, let's remove these last two top deck screws. Okay. Try to keep your screws for wherever you took them out in separate sections, but together. Nothing's missing, nothing's out of place. Okay, cool. Now we're just gonna slide that over to the top. We're gonna grab the top deck and we're gonna wiggle this assembly out. Now there's that lip I was talking about where you want that wiggle room. Otherwise it ain't gonna slide out all the way. Just like that, the whole rear assembly's out. Just get the shell out the way. Let's move the rest of the vehicle over there. Now, this is a perfect time to look everything over. Now you can see it up close, the bottom, everything. If there's anything broken, anything cracked, now's the time to inspect it so you can fix it. You're there, you might as well. We're trying to get the rig back to run and enjoy it, not have something later on that tear it apart. Then we're going to go ahead and remove just some screws, not all of them. We don't have to disassemble this whole thing to get that differential out. So remove those two top screws, the screw for your camber link, the grub screw so you can remove your axle. Screws for the back on the strut tower, and the bottom screw for your shock. Alright, let's go ahead and get that done. Alright. Now let's remove these two screws from the back of the strut tower. Or there we go. Just like that. Everything slides out. And of course, inspect everything while you're there. I'm putting the 20-tooth pulley on here so the belt's a little longer, just like I did up front. There is adjustment, but that's the belt number that I'm using, so slightly longer. There is adjustment that you can do in some shims in the housing. But right now I'm just making sure everything looks good. Clean it up. Just put it back in there. I want to double check how much I need to adjust the tension on this belt when I put the 20-tooth pulley on, because it comes with 15-tooth. So let's go ahead and put this in there. Just having to fight a little bit with this axle. I didn't remove it. You can. It's not necessary. It was a long day. It was a long day. And I really wanted to get this video out for you guys. Now I got the belt on there. Went on a little too smooth for my liking. Should have been some tension already. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put everything back in its place and double check belt tension. Okay, it may rotate, but there's too much play there. So I went ahead and grabbed the other pulleys that I had brand new. And so I paused the video real quick to change that out and double check where I needed to put the tension so I can go ahead and explain it to you guys. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, so we got the 20-tooth pulley on. We got some good tension on the belt. You don't want it too loose or too tight, obviously. So this is what I did. I took out what essentially would be in a car an eccentric bolt, but here it's a spacer. And on the bulkhead, there's slots. Those are the ones you use to adjust the tension on the belt. And you get that insert there, and I put it into the third slot. And it was on the first one all the way to the front. I put it on the third one. And that's what gave me the correct tension that I was looking for after everything was put together. Alright, let's go ahead and put everything back in reverse. Continually checking. Here I put the spacer and the E-clip back. Continually checking everything that's turning. Making sure it's still good. I took out the camber screw here to take out the linkage so I can put the axle back in. Just less stress. My brain was already exhausted from a long day at work, but I was looking forward to getting this video done for you guys. So here I just fight with it a little bit. I'm like, oh, let's just go ahead and do this. why sometimes the simplest thing has to be annoying. But it's part of the process. It's still enjoyable at the end of the day. Because when we do a test run on this rig, of course the belts do have a break-in period. It's going to be a little tighter than usual. The car may feel like the brake is dragging. That's just the tension on the new belts. Once they break in, this will be a 75-mile-an-hour Nitro Fortec. Now we're just putting everything back together in reverse, obviously. Making sure everything still rotates good. Nothing binding. Tension still good. Rolls nice. That clicking sound is the shock was rolling on the table. So let's go ahead and put that screw into the shock. Okay. Now we're pretty much ready. After a quick look over yet again, I just have to do it OCD. Put the belt back with the pulley because they weren't bad. They was just a little old for my liking, so I wanted to change them. Now, naturally, when you put this back together, you're gonna want to slide the front part of the bracket where the servo goes in. But that's not going to work. It's going to be harder for you. You could snap some of the plastics. And that's what I'm doing here. Show this is not going to work. You don't want to force it either. Not like that. But you got enough wiggle room, right? So what you want to do is get the back end in first. Set in the back. And then slightly pry it here. Very slightly. Put the back in. Get that in position. Hold it against the easy start motor and the engine. Lightly pull up, and with your thumb push in just enough, and it just pops in. We're trying to get over that lip on the chassis, so you don't have to pry it really hard. It's basically a millimeter or two, just enough to get over that lip, and it just pops right in. So let's get these top deck screws in. Alright, now we can reput the other screws. Tighten up the other ones that are left halfway. Now let's get the back assembly screws in. All right, make sure it's rolling all right. Now let's go ahead and put the main drive belt back on. This is the part that I find easiest to put in the brake linkage. Just get the wire around the battery holder and underneath the bracket to the slot that it has for that wire. And then put the linkage through there. And that's that. You can put the screws in if you want now. I chose to put the belt on. I really wanted to get that E-clip at an angle where you guys can see. Filming is a little difficult, but do the best I can to give you guys the best I can. Let's go ahead and put the screw in for the throttle servo, just to hold it there. Put the linkage on the carburetor. Put your washer, silicone coupler, rubber coupler, fuel line, whatever you got there. I like to take the driver and hold it like this, prevent it from falling around. And here, you want to roll the car back and forth just so you can get the right amount tension. You don't want the brake to drag. So we test it. Roll the car back and forth. We apply the brake. And then as soon as we let it go, the car should roll freely. If you're any resistance, do some adjustments. Being that the vehicle is going to be fairly quick, you want it to where it'll engage properly. There's nothing worse than half working brake on an RC that's going 65-70 miles an hour, and yeah, now you're just repairing everything. So let's get the rest of the screws in. Get your easy start harness back in its position. Screw to the bracket. And there it is. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there.